to the 2-minute drill. Name's Bilal Muhammad. I just lost Christian Jones. He'll be coming back on. So anyway, we're here tonight to talk about the last game with Caleb Williams. And why is Caleb Williams regressing? Hey, Christian. Oh, there you go. Hold on. Let me bring Christian back on somehow. His picture dropped. Hey, what's up, Christian? We just started.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
No problem. So, hey, I was just getting started. Just said that, we was about to talk about what happened. I guess the last two games of watching Caleb Williams regress. What top of your head will be? What you want to start at with that?
I think his regression is coming to just having too much thrown at him in the beginning and having two different coordinators, having to go from Waldron to TB, and TB, I wish he would have just had more time with him to be able to do just get better in rhythm of just this just fundamental football that you just see from NFL type quarterbacks, shoot even college, and just his he has really regressed in some ways. So it's kind of hard to see because he has so much talent, and it's just hard to watch him because you wouldn't have expected this to happen.
Yeah, you know what, Christian, a great point. I know when TB first became the OC, it was very positive. You seen about two games where you kind of saw where Caleb had regressed before that, and then you saw some positive things. The scoring went up, the yardage went up, the accuracy went up. But since he was promoted to the interim head coach, now we see regression. And I know when it first happened to some of the guys I had sent the text message out when Flus first got fired, and I said, no, they should not promote TB. They should leave him in place, and they may need to just bring in an outsider, like a consultant type deal, just to finish the season, kind of like what the coach did with Jeff Saturday. Because, at the most part, when you fire a coach during the season usually going to go downhill. Teams may win one or two games because they kind of fired up when it first happened, but it's very rare that a team actually turns it around that same season they fired a coach during the season.
Yeah, so I agree with you. It's just a mess. And I'll start from just the beginning. One, okay, you do make the decision to hire Shane. You can't hire an offensive coordinator, and that offensive coordinator ain't in sync with the offensive line coach. That's where they messed up at right there. Then he get fired. This same offensive line coach is still there. Now you got TB running a system that's not his. So now you really got a pile of mess. So it was going to be, you was going to see some signs of good because anytime you get a new set of eyes on it in football, you gonna get some good signs. You're gonna see some little progression. But then once NFL coordinators start seeing what you're doing, they're gonna exploit your weaknesses, and that's exactly what happened. We can't win one-on-ones and one-on-one blocking, and we dang sure can't pass protect scat protection, which means five on five blocking. We don't do well in that either. So teams are gonna put you in situations that's gonna make you have to block 5-on-5. And that's just what happened. So I'm just ready for this season to get over. Yeah.
Everybody is. Tonight we're actually talking about the regression of Caleb Williams in the last two games. It's a 2-minute drill with Christian Jones. Coming into the season, I know so many people were saying this is the best situation that a rookie quarterback has ever been in because of XYZ. And you know what? It shows that sometimes even us, Christian, us guys like us, man, who kind of like eat, sleep, and dream football. sometimes we'll let those talking heads steer us into a narrative that we know necessarily is not true.
Yeah.
And just because you know, when you really think about it, I know as much as we were talking about it, even on the Bears Banner Talk Show page, and I saw people saying, "Hey, the Bears are going to win 11 games." I know I kept saying, "No, I don't really see them winning 11 games." I was like, maybe 9, maybe if it's real good, 10. I was like, because I was really trying to go back and say, man, I still don't think they really fixed some of the foundation of how you build a team. But still, I was kind of caught up in the pieces that they was presenting. But in reality, that's not how a team is built.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a veteran quarterback can manage a lot of receivers. Just like I guess you could find examples of say when I'm trying to think of quarterbacks who had quite a few receivers, but it takes a veteran quarterback to be able to manage a bunch of receivers because you're actually dealing with a bunch of personalities. And a veteran quarterback could handle those guys when they start. And I'm not blaming anybody, but I do want to point out that it's been tough for Caleb to also manage DJ Moore. Uh, we saw a different side of DJ Moore this year, and I know people have because it just fit. No, some of it was this. He's actually playing with other guys. He has to share the ball with. It's a difference when you're playing on teams and you kind of like the primary guy. They go to you all the time, but then when you got other guys, now that's more challenging. Then you get the money, then you got the growing pains with playing with a rookie. That made the situation even tough.
Yeah, and different play styles too. So
Mm-hmm.
um Justin, his style of play is totally different than Caleb. Caleb
Yeah.
is going to Caleb gonna go through his progressions when he gonna make sure he go through his progressions. Or Justin, it was kind of sort of it was a comfort zone. I'm going to my comfort. It's comfort,
Mm-hmm.
Cole, and DJ. So a lot of times last year, you and I was on Bears banner, 2 minute drill, and I would say like, yeah, that he threw that into double coverage. So
Right,
it
right.
was a lot of that going on, but DJ was making a play. Now, would you
Mm-hmm.
want your quarterback thrown into double coverage? I wouldn't. When you need a play, I mean, no. The answer is no. But you understand, like when you need a play, sometimes you gotta do what you have to do. I wouldn't advise it. But when you have Caleb, who he's a guy that's gonna make sure he goes through his progressions and do it the right way. Not saying that Justin's not, but Justin, he had his favorites. I would say that.
Yeah,
So
that makes
his
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
the playing
So
style.
his frustration level is that, like you said, he has Cole, he has Rome, he has Allen. Sure, you got your backs too that he throw to. Yeah, DJ, like, I'm not getting the same amount of balls as I was getting last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I agree with you.
because, and I know I don't want people to take this the wrong way, and I'm gonna use another example for those who, so they won't take it the wrong way of what I'm saying and what you're saying. Early on in Lamar Jackson's career, receivers did not like playing with Lamar Jackson.
No.
No, a good receiver did not want to play with him
Him
because
or Vic.
why? Yeah, Emma Vick, right? Because they were subjected to. I mean, I should say subjected, but there was times in games where they know they were open and the quarterback may run.
Mm-hmm.
Or he may just target a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go there and just say, "You go play." They might have thought like early in their career, they felt like, "Man, if I go with him, man, I may catch 40 or 50 balls." I
Yeah.
go play with this other guy, I'm catching 90 to 100. So
Yep.
that's one of the and so that's one of the drawbacks too if you're playing with a rookie quarterback. So I'm trying to bring it back home. You have your rookie quarterback on surface, it sounds like he's set up in a good situation, but actually he's been set up in a bad situation
Yeah.
because he's coming in and he's learning. He's trying to learn how to read. He's trying to learn how to play up in the NFL level. You actually didn't do anything for the line at all. The line got worse.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has to decide, even regardless of what the reads are. You know how it is, Christian. You're a quarterback. I want the ball. And they don't care if they was not number one on that read. I want the
Yeah.
ball. I want the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, I agree.
And,
yeah.
So he has sometimes maybe it's still in him going through his reads. He's like, damn, DJ, man, people think there's some animosity between us. It's really not. So let me get the ball to DJ. Man, Kenan actually on the sideline, and Kenan Allen looks like he's great in the locker room and the sideline guy. He's always engaged with the quarterback. He's always showing tablets. He even showing like, I'm gonna break on the ball, man. Great communicator. So of course, as a quarterback, you're like, man, I got to get the ball to Kenan. Then you realize Cole ain't got the ball, and that's too much for a rookie quarterback. He's trying to please people. He's trying to please the fans. Then you got the anger of some fans who, of course they angry. You got rid of Justin Fields and they waiting for the first moment. You messed up. Then there's people like, he shouldn't have been number one. I want this guy. I want this guy. And he's a guy that he's been trolled all through his college career, probably trolled people back. And it's so many people wanting to fail. So it really is a tough situation. And I always say this, it doesn't matter where Chicago quarterback is drafted, what position he is. Unless there's a name bigger than him, it's going to feel like he's number one. In this case, he was number one. Justin Fields was number 11, but I swear in that draft, he was the number one pick. Because you ever heard nothing but Trevor Lawrence. You hardly ever heard anything, right? Because you don't get national games for Jaguars. The Jets are hit and miss. Who was the other guy? Trey Lance got hurt right away.
Trey Lance and Mac
He's the guy
Jones.
in New York.
Mac Jones.
Danny
Dimes, was he in that draft? Daniel Jones?
No, he was the year.
I think he was before, right?
Before.
Yeah. Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
And I think, was Zach Purdy in that draft?
Zach, yes. He was in that draft because he was the last draft pick in that draft.
I want to touch on something with that I've discovered with DJ Moore.
Okay. And there's a comment too if you want to address it from Leon.
Yeah, that's subjective. It looked bad, but we don't know what really going on,
right,
Leon, behind the scenes. So it looked bad on the field, but they might be cool as ever off the field. It'd be like that. Like, you might think that somebody don't really jam with that person, but it's not that. They just frustrated. Well, the point I was gonna make about DJ Moore is Justin Fields isn't a good he don't trust his eyes. Justin Fields. I don't want to make this show about Justin Fields. He don't trust his eyes, so he's not gonna make the anticipation throws. He gonna wait until you open. But his best attribute was throwing the deep ball. And that is DJ's thing. He can be in tight coverage. He can be in double cover. If you throw the deep ball, he gonna go get it. Now, separation, that's not his strong suit. So now you have a quarterback whose strength is not the same as Justin. He's missed so many deep ball throws this year, and it's really kind of puzzling because you've seen it in college, and now I want to go back and watch some of his stuff and say, was he really a good deep ball thrower in college? I can't tell you that because I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of tape of him in college. The point I'm making is that all of our receivers are the same on this team besides Scott. He the only one that I would say is a pure route runner. Keenan Allen is, but that's only in the slot. You're not
in the slot, correct?
Yeah, you're not gonna put Keenan Allen at Z or X. You're not doing that. Cole Kmet, he makes his living in the middle of the field. You're not gonna see him too much out wide either. So you have in Rome, he doesn't strike me as a good route guy. And what I mean by good route guys, I'm talking about guys like Larry Fitzgerald, guys like Chad Johnson, guys like Devontae Adams. Those are like guys like Justin Jefferson and what's his name, Jamar Chase. Like those are route runners. Those guys can run any route on a route tree and make a DB look foolish. So I think that's another reason why DJ is so frustrated with him, because a lot of times he just like throw the ball or he'll miss them, whereas Justin wasn't missing those type of throws last year.
Yeah, hey, I think Christian, great points. Leon says Caleb definitely has to improve his deep ball. I think a better O line will help. He rarely has a clean pocket. Yeah, I agree on that, and I agree definitely he needs to. I hope y'all don't hear echo. I kind of hear one on my side. He does need to work on his deep ball. Now, your mention of Tyler Scott is something that I've been bringing up most of the season, because to me, when I look at his deep balls, he kind of seems to overshoot them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it almost, the mechanicals of it more than I do. But I will also say, other than the mechanic parts of it, it's really that he's misjudging their speed.
Yeah,
It
too.
may seem like, because these guys may have decent, pretty good 40 times, but they're not flyers. Tyler Scott is a flyer. So, for example, where he overshot that ball to, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was
Oh,
over the
Rome.
no, it was over in the corner and end zone. It had to be. It was Kenan Allen. He
Look,
overshot
it
him.
was Keenan Allen. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it
yep,
was a
sure
deep ball.
was. It sure
It
was.
was a
Yeah, I
deep
was
ball in the
wrong.
corner.
It sure was.
Okay,
Yep.
somebody just say somebody with a Justin Jefferson. That's touchdown. That's touchdown, because he got the speed. He would have ran up
Yeah,
under that ball.
that's true, but
He would have ran up under that ball. But my
that,
point is, they
yeah,
got guys
that's
that,
true. But he got to make that throw too. That's wide
yeah,
open.
that's why I
Yeah,
gave
he
the
got.
preference of the technical stuff, and him missing that is true. But I'm saying it seems like at times he's misjudging these guys' speed. Like
He's.
like
Mm-hmm.
he's overthrowing them, but they don't look like they that fast, right? They sometimes, I just take Kenan Allen. I swear, like he got a refrigerator on his back when he's running.
Yeah, yeah.
I know he got the injury, but he doesn't. He looks slow.
It.
And
Yeah.
Rome with Rome, he's got to be able to trust those 50-50 balls with Rome. Rome is a guy that catch it in traffic, even though Rome has not came up with the great catches but once this year. But Rome is going to be his asset when he's able to trust. I'm just going to throw it up and let Rome go get it.
Yeah. But we asking him and them to do some stuff. So I hate to say this, but next year you gonna be looking at a second year rookie, because he gonna be, if TB ain't here next year, which I'm gonna go on a limb and say, unless they hire like a Flores or a Rabel, I don't see in no scenario where TB gonna be here. Unless they say, okay, TB, we believe in you. You're gonna be a head coach. I don't see it. So he gonna have to learn a whole new system. Do I think they're gonna be smart enough to say, okay, we're gonna go and maybe get somebody from your old college who you might have a rapport with? And I don't see them doing that. So he gonna be a second year rookie. So they can go out and run these routes and run routes and do stuff in the off season. But it's nothing when you don't know what type of system you running. So now y'all just out there just playing catch. So we're gonna be waiting a while till he's able to get a system that's gonna be to his skill set or not. To where the most important thing is him getting in the system to where he can actually learn it and he's not thinking.
Okay.
And yeah, so I agree with you. And two, can they, for the love of God, get a quarterback coach who gonna coach him up right? Because a lot of this stuff is because of his mechanics is bad, and his mechanics isn't lining up with the concept. He either too late or he too early. There's been some games where he was throwing some good completions and stuff, but even in those games, like a lot of his, I would say like 40% of it was still bad footwork.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Great observation. You know what? Let's show a video where we looking at footwork. Huh?
okay,
Let's
let's
see
do it.
which one I want to go. Hold on, let me see which one I want to bring in. How do I get this one on? Hold on one minute, Christian. I'm trying to make sure I bring the video in, right?
Just constantly.
Okay.
But watch this.
Okay, so there we go. Can you see that, Christian? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
Here we go. So this is the play where he's trying to throw a ball to, it looked like it's a slant to Kenan Allen. There we go.
But watch his feet. Just
kind of underneath it. Okay, let me run it again with his feet. Okay, so this where what Christian is talking about mechanics, and when you start talking about footwork, one, he's drifting back, but in one sense, and Christian, just jump in and you feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. In one sense, like on this play, and this is to me, it's coming from being sacked a lot. He never really gets set on his play, but there's really no pressure in his play. But he's continues to kind of drift back. So even when he kind of throw it, he's really not set on his throw.
So you have you picture a clock. This is how you Arab. This is just QB fundamentals. You picture a clock. You got 12 o'clock in front, and you got 6 o'clock behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got 0 step, you got 1 step, which is it's the equivalent to a 0. Then you got 6 o'clock, 5, 7. Now that is depending on what concept you run, and it's also depending on your quarterback coach to your offensive coordinator. They're gonna be lockstep. He ain't even in neither anything. He ain't 6. He can't be 5. I mean, he not 7. I'm sorry. He not 6 or 5, and it definitely wasn't a 0 step. So yeah, he was drifting, and what it looked like it was supposed to be a 3-step drop. Now, there's other stuff that go into that, depending on what the concept is. So if you like running a dagger concept, basically what a dagger is, you got a guy running the field, and then you got a guy that's gonna run a dig. One guy's gonna put stress on the safeties, the other guy's gonna put stress on the second level guys. That is gonna be it's gonna be a 3-step. So if you like the up top, you got 3. If you don't, it's to a hitch. So it's 1, 2, 3. Don't like it, 1 hitch or 2 hitch. Here, you see him drifting. He take 1, 2, 3. He take 1, 2 hitch, 3, 4, 5 hitch. If you can go back and watch it, then the ball comes out. That's not how that's supposed to go.
Okay, let me bring it back in.
Yeah.
His feet just constantly moving. Have not set. I don't think Keenan was supposed to break in.
Rewind it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not how that's supposed to go. So if you're going and whoever that is, if Keenan Allen, Doomsday, I don't know, but whoever that is was coming open anyway. That looked like a dog concept because he's too shallow for it to be a hitch. So just something coming back into his face for a dog route. So it should have been. I'm thinking it should have been 3 and 1 hitch. That's what I'm thinking. And when you off your fundamentals like that, it's just bad. And then it looked like he was trying to be too cute too, and throw him open to where he wanted him to drive on the football to come and get it. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that if you off rhythm. I think you should just stay in the rhythm of the floor of the offense. Take your 3 and 1 to the hitch and get rid of it. So, yeah, just hopefully they coach him up, get that stuff. But that's not something. What week are we in? We going into week 16.
This will be week 16.
That's not something you shouldn't be having, and I'm not being funny here or harsh or rude, but you shouldn't be having, not with quarterback, fundamental conversations. Not like that.
Right.
You should.
Right.
Most of your conversations should be as far as getting your eyes in the right place. Those type of fundamental. It should be more of the mental areas, the visual fundamentals of the game, not your hitches and your throwing motion. That's not something that quarterbacks should be going through in the season. So
yeah, Christian, I definitely agree with you. That's why a lot of times these rookie quarterbacks, if possible, they need to sit a few games before they start, and also that's why I'm a stickler on. I know you have to wait the quarterbacks develop and it take a while, but you definitely should not be having this conversation 3 years into a person's career either.
yeah,
It doesn't matter how much they show you great flash plays, but if we 3 years in and we still talking about you off on your footwork, your throwing motion off, et cetera, man, that's a whole lot of stuff to fix. But we do know from being sacked, you develop bad habits. And also, I think that it's funny because Caleb, I can understand why people talk about his talent. He's kind. I hate to use Mahomes, and I know we said this before. He's almost one of those guys that can kind of get away with that funky stuff, or have gotten away with it, but you really don't advise quarterbacks to do it, right? Because sometimes he could get those throws like we saw a couple of weeks ago, where he's in the air throwing it. I've seen him get some throws where he's literally both his feet are right next to each other, and he's like he's standing at attention, and he's throwing a ball like this, and it actually gets there. Okay, the problem is that we experienced with Caleb, and I'm just expressing a point because for those who new to this show, this is the 2-minute drill. This is just a segment of Bears Banter where we strictly talk about quarterbacks. So this is not a Caleb hate or anything, because I definitely think Caleb's gonna be a good quarterback. So I don't want nobody who just tuned in to not misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just talking about some stuff that could be correct. But the thing is with Caleb is, I want to use basketball as an analogy. Caleb is the guy that comes into the league in basketball, and not the current today's basketball as much because they all do the same thing, but a guy who come in who has great athleticism and some other stuff, and just say, for example, they're a great 3-point shooter, but they can't hit a fast break layup. Your camera went out, Christian. They have a problem. They struggle. Hold on. Did you vocal? You might have. I can't hear you. Okay. Well, anyway, Caleb has to be able to hit those easy throws. Those are the throws that he's missing right now, and I compare that to the basketball player who has he could knock down threes, but then he's missing. He's a terrible free throw shooter, or he gets a layup and he's missing the easy layup to the basket. There you go, Christian. Hold on. Well, what you got, Christian? I don't know if I can't hear you right now. You gonna go out and come back in? Okay. So anyway, as we kind of go through there, we were discussing some of the struggles that Caleb Williams had in the last few weeks, specifically in this Vikings game and in the game before, where you've seen a whole lot of regression in the game, and a lot of it centered around. I think it's just bad habits that's being formed from being sacked a lot, bad footwork, and not really trusting what his eyes seeing, because sometimes you're looking at him going through his reads and he's looking at a player and he's not really letting it fly. And one of the things when quarterbacks get hit a lot, they either just gonna start throwing it up for grabs because they don't want to get hit, or if they are able to just tough it out and take those hits, quarterbacks may tend to hold the ball longer. And now they're holding on to throws much longer because they haven't got used to it being hit. And I know that seems odd because most people think like, man, why would a quarterback who get hit a lot hold the ball? that's exactly what happened. Most of them do hold the ball longer and longer, and they start developing bad habits of just holding the ball a long time and not really trusting what they want to see and not moving past moving to the next progression. So all of us have observed plays, especially in the last game and these games all year. I just hear echo. It may be actually coming back to your mic somehow. Hold on, let me hit the see if I can cut off. Okay. Hold on, let me. There's an echo thing I can reduce in yours background noise. There you go, Christian. So hopefully it's not coming to the background. But you'll see quarterbacks where they're just maybe looking at a guy, and after they got hit so long, they like, okay, I'm gonna give him one more minute. I'm gonna give him one more minute, right? And actually, it could be other guys now that are springing open, but because they got hit a lot, they like, I can handle this hit, and that's actually a bad habit that he has to break. What you got, Christian?
So your timing the biggest thing about getting hits. I mean, so it's gonna sound funny because there's this conception that quarterbacks don't like getting hit. We okay with it as long as we on time with the ball. We release it, a completion in hand, we get a late hit, we're fine. Where we get messed up is where pressure is coming in our face. I'm okay with outside pressure. I do not prefer, in any quarterback, I do not prefer going through my cadence, saying hit or go or hike, whatever, and I get the ball and I'm not even into my first drop and I got pressure. I'm trying to avoid it. That throws off everything, because then when you do have a clean pocket, sometimes your eyes drift. You might be looking at the rush, or you might be looking at the wrong place because you're trying to get the ball out quicker. So you might go to your third person in the rock concept because you know that's a quicker throw. That might be an easier throw, and you messing up the whole progression. So you definitely right with what you said. I agree with everything you said. Um, I think that a way to combat that though is, you run the ball. I know it's simple, and they probably thought I was gonna say something like duh, but it's true though. You run the ball and you wear down on the defensive lineman. Um, you exert so much energy. What defensive linemen do exert so much energy and trying to rush the passer and trying to get into their gaps that you're at the while you get ran on so many times. You fighting off double teams. The fourth quarter, you're gonna be tired, and you might not have your best rush moves at that point in time. So a lot of these hits that he took probably could have been alleviated had we would have been a run first team. We didn't start off the season like that. We start off the season of him throwing the ball 50 times. He did that almost consecutively in his first 4 games, and I wouldn't suggest that for any quarterback at any level.
Yeah. No, Christian, that's the funny part about this, because that's why I was saying that at the beginning of the show, that when we think about our knowledge of football, of just basic fans, David, we know what a rookie quarterback should be doing. A rookie quarterback should be running, not him running, but the team should be running the ball. A running game, we all say it, a running game and a tight end is the best friend to a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look about what they did, they loaded up with receivers. And there's no way you loading up with receivers and saying we're gonna run the ball. So I was confused even when we did that, and even though we was kind of caught up in this is the best situation. You actually was setting up this team to pass the ball. That's why you loaded up receivers. And then you actually bring in a running back who's not really a good running back from the backfield. He's kind of a guy that you could throw screens to, you could make toss plays to, right? Stuff you can make in the passing game. So you really could even bring a running back that was complementary to a quarterback as far as running. You brought one that was complementary to him passing.
Can I say something real
Oh,
quick,
yes,
bro?
sir. Jump in, bro.
Last year the Carolina Panthers had about the worst offensive line in the league. What they do? They went out and they put money in it, and they drafted some guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to have had a conversation about the direction, even before they picked who their head coach was going to be, what type of style offense they was going to run to save CJ over there. And he's been looking better too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me that Pose didn't know he was going to take Caleb. He knew.
Right.
He knew. It was either going to be between him or I don't even think he. Well, yeah, he knew because they didn't even talk to Jay. They talked to Jaden, but they ain't talked to the rest of the quarterbacks. From what I remember, I don't remember them talking to Bo Nix or what's the guy's name in New England? Shoot. Well, I can't remember the
Drake
guy's
May.
name.
Drake
Yeah,
May.
yeah, Drake May. I don't remember them even bringing them in on a visit.
I don't
It
either.
was just I remember that it was they talked to Caleb more than once. So they knew what direction that they were going into. So you mean to tell me that they really went into the
Did we lose your picture? We lost you again, Christian. What's going on? All right, somehow, Christian, you lost your picture and your sound. Man, you was making a great point. I know you was talking about. It sounded like you're about to come back in. Somehow we lost Christian. Christian is out of town right now. He's in North, for his job, and he's struggling with his signal right now. But anyway, he was making a point about them only talking to Caleb, and they knew who they was gonna get. But I do like to make this point that I made earlier, that I know there's a lot of people who invested a lot of energy in wanting to see Caleb fail. And even though in reality, this is what rookie quarterbacks do. They actually struggle. They actually have ups and downs. And if you listen to the average fan, the Buffalo Bills would have drafted another quarterback, because so many people swear that Josh Allen was a bust after his rookie year. And I'm not comparing Caleb Williams to Josh Allen, so I don't want nobody to be like,
yeah.
oh, he's right there. I'm just making a point that when you look at fans want to. A lot of fans, when they just make it up in their mind that they hate a player, they go, "Hey, do you hear the echo now, Christian?"
Um
I don't
I
know if
don't
you
know.
hear one.
No,
Okay,
I don't.
okay, I was hearing echo. So anyway, there's a lot of fans that was invested in. Hey, Josh Allen is a bust. Josh Allen can't play. There's people who is invested in Lamar Jackson is a bust. He doesn't know how to pass, and he's not going to develop as a quarterback. You have so many quarterbacks that come into the league because now we have social media and we have so many talk shows that people don't want to give these guys time to develop at all. They want them to come in and they want them to be stars right away. And
Mm-hmm.
you have a few guys that are exception, but in reality, this what happened. See, the reason a lot of times too, you don't really look at any struggles of Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix struggles, because most of y'all don't even see their games, to be honest. Most people have not seen their games.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
haven't.
clips and
Yeah,
highlights, and they looking at the win total, the loss total, and that's really what they see unless they live in those respective cities, because those guys have not been on TV a whole lot, not
yeah,
national TV.
yeah. And two, again, they constructed this team of really thinking that Caleb was gonna come in here and everything was gonna translate in the first year, and that was a huge mistake and arrogance too. And that shown that they really didn't have a plan, because to really think that our offensive line, to think that it was really Justin Fields' fault, where instead of really evaluating and saying he was at fault, this line needs to get better. We also need some more weapons. To insert a rookie into this and then to give him a coordinator who people around the league said, yeah, I don't know about him. And to start off the season, you didn't even play him that much in preseason. And then your first 4 games, you go off and you throw the ball 50 times each game. That show what type of just it was doomed from the beginning. So I don't. That's why I said I don't put too much on Caleb. I think that he's going to be amazing. I just think that you're seeing this bad football is because he was birthed into something that was going to be doomed from the beginning. That's not winning football. I look at I watch Redskins football. Oh, I said Redskins. I'm sorry. Watching football, the Commanders. I watch they don't put Jake Daniels ain't put in the same situations that Caleb is. Their offense wins on first and second down.
Mm-hmm.
Our third down, we are in so much. We gotta be in win mode now. You can't win like that.
Yeah,
you can't. Yeah. He ain't ready for that. It should have been run the ball. It should have been. You can just as well as people be like, "Oh, we need an offensive coordinator who's a genius in the air." We need an offensive coordinator who's a genius all around. Run game genius, pass game genius, genius in screens, all kinds of key screens, all kinds of tunnel screens, all kinds of just everything. We don't have that. That's what our problem is. We don't have anybody that was ready to take this kid and to really develop it.
Yeah, great points. I want to add on to something you said, and I know there's a misperception for people who might have seen me make comments and different things like that. Look, I want to be clear on this point. When you look at last year and the year before, to me, looking at last year and the year before, this is what my problem I had. When polls came in, I got the impression right away they had problems with Justin Fields before a game was played.
Mm-hmm.
I'm strictly on this here. If management come in and they don't like a player, you should trade them. I don't care how good that player is. If you don't like the player, you should trade them, because what you're actually doing is you're setting them up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
You're setting them up for failure, and you're not doing anything to help that player overcome anything. And so you put too much on him. So for me, I felt in those scenario, what you're just saying, they scapegoat on Justin Fields on a lot of things. Now, I ain't saying some of it wasn't rightfully so. Some of my critiques I stand by them, but some of it I know, and I admitted it. I even said the first year that I thought Nagy was setting them up for failure. But
Oh
you
yeah.
have to run something that's complementary to the guy that you got. But if you don't want to do anything to run complementary to your quarterback that you have, you should move on from that player, because you're not doing him no favor. You're actually making him fail, and you're making the team worse. So you move on from that situation. But in this case, when you moved on, I said this about 4 or 5 games into the season. The Bears are trying to lay the success of this season at the foot of Caleb Williams, or the arm of Caleb Williams, which is wrong. You cannot have a rookie quarterback be the main reason why your team succeed. Look, if your team was going to succeed this year, it would have been because of good coaching, great defense, good running game, and being efficient on third down. That's what's going to make the team win.
Yeah,
Now,
I
that
agree.
your quarterback was going to throw for 4,000 yards, each one of those
Yeah.
guys got 1,000 yards. Man, that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
So I'm gonna say this too. When you want to go to when you want to eat something good, you're gonna go to the best restaurant and get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the fact that you went out and you patchwork everything and then said, I'm gonna make a good meal and think, oh yeah, these people gonna want to enjoy this product is just insane. You didn't need Swift. You didn't need Allen. What you needed was competition on the line.
Yeah.
And you needed to say, look, we're going to keep adding guys, and whoever wins, wins. But what you did was you said, oh, we're going to get this good ingredient to the meal, and we're going to think, oh, yeah, this is what's going to feed a good meal. And that's not what happened. You made a terrible meal. You inserted a kid into something you thought because what he did in college was going to translate, and that's not how you do it. If you would have told me that, hey, we bringing Caleb in, we got a top 10 left tackle, we got a center, we got two more guys on the offensive line that's in the top 15. Then I would have said, okay, I think we got a chance. But not a single person on that offensive line is even in the top 20. That's a problem. So you got to look at the teams that are contending, and you go and you look at their line, and then you say, oh, that's why. You go look at Buffalo. They have guys that's in the top 15 on that offensive line. The Lions, top 15. The Eagles, top 15. Ravens. So you can't do that. You think that you can, but just because we seen Joe Burrow and we seen Pat Mahomes carry a team to the NFL, and you seen them do it with a terrible line, let's not get it twisted. That's not sustainable. That's not how they didn't say, okay, we're gonna protect Caleb. And so what if we don't have any weapons on the outside? As long as he's able to make the reads, and we can address that later. Wide receivers grow on trees. You can get a wide. I mean, the Packers do it all the time. They don't got not one wide receiver that they drafted was in the top 20. I think one was Watkins. That's it. The rest of them guys up there came the second and third round. So they Pose got his guy, and he set him up for failure. And that's I like Pose. I don't want him to fail. I want him to do success. But the same thing that he did, like you said, he pushed Justin out. He inserted, thinking that Justin was the problem. He got his guy. He inserted his guy into a bad situation, and I feel bad for Caleb.
Yeah. So in reality, I know we talk about the show was why is Caleb Wynn regressing, and all this is why he's regressing, right? We're not breaking down film as much as we did in some of the previous show, but all this is why he regressing. It has come to a boiling point of it because you can't have multiple offensive coordinator. You hire Shane Waldron, a guy that didn't know how to handle a rookie quarterback, had no history of developing a rookie quarterback, and also he's a poor communicator as well, where he seemed to not have command of what was going on, and it's something when you watch stuff from afar, sometimes that they call it out of town stupid. But if and I think I wasn't really excited about the Shane Waldron. I was kind of like neutral on it. But if you go look at their offense last year, Seattle, the Bears offense actually was ranked higher than the Seattle offense. The Seattle offense, I believe, was ranked 20th, and the Bears was ranked 19th. But you would think from being out of town and hearing about, when we were seeing the improvement from Geno Smith, we really looking at that first year with Geno. I ain't saying Geno played bad last year, but I'm saying the offense started regressing, which is why and everything. If you look at it, Pete Carroll got pushed out the door, but right before he got pushed out the door, when you started researching, there was a lot of criticism of Shane Waldron in Seattle. And even Pete Carroll criticized him right at the beginning of the year on some of the things that we started complaining about, like not being able to be creative, not being able to use adequate personnel, or just stand with the same set of people. But anyway, as it's come down to it, the Bears, they have actually put a rookie quarterback in a worse scenario because you want them to have consistency. You don't want them to have to change coaches, definitely not in the middle of the season. You want the GM to be the same GM. You want the same head coach to be the same head coach. You want them all lined up. But
and it didn't.
I know we mentioned layups. I want to show one more throw.
But before you show it, I just want everybody to know that the one thing that we got on Justin Fields about our new quarterback that we fell in love with. He in the same situation. He gonna be on his third coordinator within a year. That's all I got to say with that. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, you think about that's even worse, right? In a year.
That's bad.
Right.
He's gonna be on his third coordinator in a year.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not how you build success.
Correct. Yeah, because you think about, we just talking about Justin Fields, but he had one coordinator at least his rookie year, right? Yep. He had one coordinator. It was Nagy, right? Then the next year he had Gassy for the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. In this case, you're talking about a guy having really 3 offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Because you got 3 in one season. So
one season.
So
that's bad.
That's bad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And well, anyway, let me show this throw, Christian. Here you go, right here. Oh no, I might have it's the wrong one. Hold on. Let me remove this one and bring in the right one. I believe it was this one here. It's kind of. This is one of the throws where you say he can make these difficult throws. While I was making the comparison to a basketball player who could, great at threes, but then they missed the layups. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the throws where you like, wow,
My mom used to tell me all the time when I was in grade school, she'd be like, it's good that you got an A, but you got an A in PE. But you got bad grades and all. You got terrible grades in the rest of your classes. So to me, it's like, yeah, it's cool seeing you make a throw that, you're gonna get a grade A on it. But the stuff that I need you to be great at, you're not great at. So I can't really get too excited. It's like, you see that play, you be like, oh yeah. But the 5 plays before that was like, what are you doing? So
you got to be able to make the easy throws. It's like solving a mathematic when you're doing a math test. Hey, you do all the easy problems first, and then you give you more time to work on the hard problems, right? So he has to go to taking those check downs. Take those check downs, take those 3 or 4 yard passes. Guess what? On third down, sometimes it may be a throw that's not going to get you the first, but to get in the rhythm, go and take that pass, right? Versus you taking a hit because they always in bad situations on third. You 3rd and 15, but it is a guy open at 5 yards. But the way your team been playing, go and take that 5-yard play. Guess what?
Yeah.
He may actually break it and get first down, or if not, at least when you're punting and you got 5 or 6 extra yards that you can add on to the play, but you kind of getting into as a quarterback, you know better than I. You getting into a rhythm, you feeling completion. Okay, we didn't get it first, but we completed all our pass in that cycle of offense. So now in the next cycle offense, if we could get in the ribbon. So now all of a sudden when I throw that deep ball, I'm confident I can hit that deep ball, but I can't hit that deep ball when I just missed 5 passes in a row, or I took some sacks.
Yeah.
Because one of the things too was happening, I would say, is if he missed a few passes, I don't want to have those throwaways. Because now I know I missed 4 passes and I have 3 or 4 more throwaways. I'm not finishing this game with 48% completion. I'm not doing that.
You talking about stuff that is just factual. It's fact. Like there's nothing that I can say, oh, bro, you being a little harsh on that with. No, it's true, but it all comes it comes, like I said, it comes with structure and coaching and having a plan and design. I don't do this at the level that they do it at, but every year at the school we have meetings. We assess who we get coming up, who we even seeing coming up out in a few years in youth, and just seeing in how we gonna develop them and just their skill set and things like that. And we have a plan. And you could tell that there was no plan. They felt like the plan was Caleb. And like you said, they just threw everything up on him, and that was not cool. And it crashed and burned. And it pisses me off because you look at Washington, who literally in a worse situation than us, and they have a plan, and they're looking good. And it just makes me mad because it's like I'm not trying to be a homer. I like Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be really, really good. I do see. I just feel like Caleb does have more of a higher ceiling than he does, and he has a higher skill set than he does. And the fact that our guy who has the higher is looking way worse than Jaden.
Yeah. And I want to show. Yeah, Chris, I want to show this for the fans because I know a lot of times on these talk shows they kind of have a narrative, and they actually sometimes separate the narrative from what really might have happened. For example, in the game, Caleb did a throw that I would ill advise doing. He jumped in the air when a defender was coming at him, and he got hit in the chest as he was throwing it. I thought he wasn't gonna get up. I thought he wasn't gonna get up, and he went to the bench and he kind of laid on a bench. To me, that was just a moment like, man, that hurt. I don't want to go in the blue tent. Let me get up before they start having me go in the blue tent. That's how I saw that. People who don't like him saw it as, oh, that's bad body language and blah, blah, blah. No, dude got up and said, okay, I'm ready to go. I mean, nobody wants to get hit like that, but let's bring reality to this. And I want to show you people who watch it, as much as you want to say he's a bust and all that, you're actually not really following football for real. Hold on, let me show you something. I'm gonna bring up NFL stats. If y'all could see this, let's look at this. They rank an NFL quarterback based off stats. Look who we see ranked at number 19. Caleb Williams. Okay, if you look at his stats, Jaden Daniels 15, Bo Nix 16, Justin Herbert 17, Jordan Love 18, Caleb Williams. That is based off passing yards. Let's flip this and put it on TDs. If we rank it by TDs, what do we see Caleb Williams ranked in the NFL? And this is what Ben struggling with accuracy. Caleb Williams is ranked 15 in passing TDs. Right? He has 17 touchdowns. Who is he tied with? Jaden Daniels. Look at who the guys in front of him. Kirk Cousins is, he just turned the ball over so much. That's why he's being bent. But this is based off passing TDs. So, when you look at this, hold on, I'm trying to think of what other. Let's look at interceptions.
Yeah, he ain't in the top 15, I don't think. Yeah.
No, let's go. Look how far down you have to fall. Caleb Williams, when you start looking at interceptions, he's ranked 64 in the NFL. And of course, you got a lot of guys who, fill up the top because they only play like a few plays. And, you got a lot of zeros at the top. But in the top, you're always going to have a lot of those. When you get to the interception, you're going to have a lot of those guys who are just backup quarterbacks who kind of like they're at the top just because they haven't played many games. But like I say, if you go back and you look at the guys that are playing in the NFL, like I said, let me go back here to yards. Now, this is where you're going to get him ranked at the bottom, closer to the bottom. When you go to, if you run this by completion percentage, he's been struggling with accuracy. So you expect him to be low. Caleb is ranked 29th when they start talking about completion percentage. So that's one of the few areas. Of course, the sacks, right? He's been sacked the most. And believe it or not, the person who's been sacking the second most this year is the guy who gave him advice about not being hit, which is CJ Stroud. That's the kind. It ain't funny, but it's kind of the weird thing, right? that the guy who gave him advice about don't be taking all those hits is actually the guy that's about, I think CJ Stroud probably around 53. I think he's been sacked somewhere between 50 and 53 times, and Caleb should be at 58, I believe.
Yeah, because the league and caught up with what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said, we was talking about this off the air. I said, we was talking earlier in the show too, with Thomas Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch how it gives people glory, because NFL is the best of the best, and I know we get on 2-minute drill and talk football and scheme and concepts and stuff, but those guys do it at a greater level than me. And you get in the room with one of them, you'll be shocked of just how detailed and how much they design stuff that will take away literally everything that you was doing good last year. And they were doing a lot of stuff last year that it's not sustainable. Yeah, he taking a lot of sacks and they struggling. So
yeah. And the competition for them is different this year because last year their schedule was based off them winning maybe about 4 games the year before, something like that, because it was Carolina was picked number 1 and they picked number 2. So even sometimes as the level of competition grows, right, quarterbacks struggle. So that's the difference too. But anyway, I know we're gonna wrap up tonight. But I know earlier this season it was people who was making fun of some of us who were saying stuff like, "Man, that was a good victory against the Jaguars and etc." And I continue to say this: we've all watched the Bears, and we've seen a lot of bad seasons in recent years. You better learn how to cheer for those wins when they happen.
you know what?
If you don't know when they're going to stop.
You know what? I'm not trying to be mean or harsh. I played this game in high school or from grade school all the way up to college. Anytime you get on that field, and even as a coach, anytime you get on, you that person across from you that you playing, they've been on the field, they've been in the classroom, they've been at home working their tails off. You ain't gonna, just because the team got a terrible record, don't mean they're gonna come in here and lay down for you. You might see that at a youth level because I'm kids, but when you playing against, especially as an adult, you're not about to see no adult. At the end of the day, they got pride. They're not about to just go out on Sunday and not give no effort. No, they playing for their livelihood too. There's guys out there. This is generational wealth that they, going out there. So anytime you get a victory in the NFL, cherish and celebrate. I don't care if it's against an 0-20 team. Yeah, I'm gonna celebrate. Yeah, I'm gonna root for my team because I know what going into. Yeah, I know what going into that. So when I heard you say that, I'm like, I can't. Yeah, I ain't trying to be mean or act like I'm here, but I appreciate any win that we get. So
because they're not easy. I mean, I know people who watch the game, man, and you see teams who end up having, teams like Kansas City who've been good for ever since Mahomes got there, and you think that it's easy to win. It's not easy. I'm telling you, look, we've watched, I would say somehow NFL is. You watch the Bears blow a game to the Colts, and you're like, man, the Colts is a bad team, man. That's how you felt going into the season. They okay now. That next week, the Colts beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
And you're like, hold on. Maybe the Colts are not that bad. Then I think the following week, the Colts lose to the Jaguars. So
it's parity in the league every year. It's parity. We beat the Rams now, and we was to play them. They would tear us a nice piece into us. So when you get a team and you get the best of them, and as fans we see it, let's celebrate it. Because if you meet up with them 2 weeks prior to that ain't gonna be the same team, and you probably lose bad. So it's like, no.
Yeah, and it's about matchups too, right? Sometimes it's players that's out on injury. Say, for example, now I know we're gonna talk about this tomorrow on the pregame show for Bears Banner. The Bears about to play the Lions this weekend. That is not the same Lions defense that the Bears played a few weeks ago. Not even going to be the same offense to one degree because Montgomery is out, so you don't have the power running. Damn near half their starting defense is out. So maybe there are opportunities. We'll talk about it tomorrow that the Bears will face. But what the Bears fans need to do and some of the other fans need to do at times is last year the Bears won 7 games. And we know that they blew about 3 and they could have been 10. I think that makes people believe that a team is better because you count. Sometimes people mistakenly almost count those games that they blew. Guess what? You actually could have looked at last year and you could have actually said just as much as they blew 3 games, there's about 2 or 3 they might have should have lost.
Yeah.
So their record is your record is what you are. Your record is what you are. Just like right now, the Bears they won 4 games, and we could say they could have won 4 more. We can't go into next year saying, man, if they had did this, and that, they would have won 10 games. No, they're actually whatever their record end up being, that's what it, and you build from what the current record is, not what the record should have been.
I agree. 100%. So I'm with you. I celebrate wins because, man, you catch a team. You get to catch a team at the wrong time. You catch a team at the right time. All I know is if you get a team that you play, and then too, it's so hard to like divisional games too. Them the ones that you see like are so hard because it's really hard to beat a team twice. It really is. It really is. So, we got Detroit, and we're gonna be at home this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be cold. I guarantee you, we ain't gonna see the same Detroit team. Montgomery ain't gonna be there. They don't got Aiden Hutchinson. You never know. It might. The Bears might have had an amazing week of practice, and guys probably feeling loose. Guys probably, you just never know. A lot of stuff just go into stuff. Like you might walk into Sunday and feeling real great about the game plan, and being like, man, and then you actually go out there and just have a great game. It go for coaches too. Sometimes, as a coach, when you know that you prepared and you got something on another team, another coach, oh man, you it's not like it's a cockiness, but it's a humble one. And you go in there and you do your thing. It might be one of them types. You never know. So when you able to get a win, you celebrate it. And that's just, I agree with you. You celebrate it.
Yep. So Caleb Williams did regress the last 2 weeks, and we're hoping this weekend we could start going back the right direction, get the ball out your hand, work on your footwork, and you may have to take some risks. Not saying just throw picks, but take some risks. Work on getting 1 or 2 deep balls. I'm hoping we see a little bit more Tyler Scott. Just see some development of some guys and maybe throw 1 or 2 deep balls to Tyler Scott. You saw him come in the game late in the last game, but I'm hoping Coran does not start. I mean, that's a disservice to that kid that he's not ready for the NFL. And if you give him any playing time, have him have playing time when you put Tyson. If you put Tyson Baden in or something, that's when you give him some time. No, you do not let him come in unless somebody get some injuries happen, some more injuries happen, and you don't have no choice. But other than no, you can't do that to that guy.
I didn't even know he was. I thought he was going to be better than what he was, but Jesus Christ, that was bad.
Yeah,
that was really bad. Yeah, don't start him. I'd rather see Larry Borum out there.
I would too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see y'all tomorrow. But thank everybody for tuning in to the 2-minute drill, and please hit the subscribe button, and so we can keep putting programs out like this. Until next time, peace.